Today we're going to be talking about short-term memory loss and how it affects our family. So,
let's get it going.
My name is Jonathan, and I'm a caregiver for my wife Lynne, who has a permanent brain injury. Things are different now, but we're doing the best that we can. Join us as we experience the Lynne life.
today I wanted to talk about short-term memory loss because that's something that affects us every single day, doesn't it? Yeah. And we do watch a lot of interabled couples on other channels, and it seems like a lot of them have mobility issues that affects them every day. But some of the things that aren't as obvious with us that affects us is the short-term memory, right? And Lynne's very much aware of it, and we work on that all the time. Short-term memory is how our brain stores short amounts of information. And Lynne has an anoxic brain injury, which means she went into cardiac arrest almost 9 years ago, and the blood flow was cut off to the brain, so oxygen was cut off to the brain. And short-term memory is one of the first things to go when that type of thing happens. Sadly, there's no cure for short-term memory, but there are ways of learning how to cope with it and deal with it. But Lynne, you do remember new things. You are able to remember new things and retrieve new things, and we work on that a lot. And one of the things is sign language, right? You remember some sign language, right? Because Lynne has an aide that comes in only about once every other week, and she is deaf. And she's been teaching Lynne some sign language. Like, how do you say thank you? Yeah? How do you say you're welcome? Right, like that, right? How do you say, I have to go to the bathroom? Right. Excellent. Here's a tough one. Do you remember how you say, I love you? You have a tougher time with that one.
No.
Thumb out. There you go. I love you. Sometimes has to be reminded on that. Oh, I love you too. Thank you. Then what do you say after I say thank you?
You are welcome.
Yeah, how do you do it?
I don't.
You just showed it. How do you say you're welcome in sign language? Yeah. So it comes and goes. But Lynne, it amazes me sometimes some of the things that Lynne can remember, especially early in the morning. Now there's long-term memory, which is very much intact, right? And Lynne's long-term memory, that's like remembering things from her childhood and stuff like that. And she will remember things like people and events in incredible detail, and that I couldn't pull that stuff out of my brain, but she manages to do that, and it's interesting. All right, I just had to restart because we had a wasp or a hornet or something on the ground crawling towards me. I'd have Justin step on it. But one of the things that got me thinking about the short-term memory is something that we're doing inside the house right now. Do you remember what time of year it is?
Halloween.
Halloween. And how do you remember that it's Halloween?
From the decorations.
Yes, I put up decorations in the house. I try to keep things current so that Lynne remembers what time of year it is. And it's one of the ways that we deal with that. Because it's very important to maintain a person's dignity when they're having a hard time remembering, right? So any little prompts or any little things like that I can do to help Lynne remember, I'm going to do. Like if she doesn't remember someone's name, I like to just give her the first syllable, and then she usually comes out with it, right? And then you've done it. You've remembered, right? I'll give you a little prompt when it comes to your sign language. Even though you don't see the aide for about 2 weeks, I'll use sign language periodically to keep that fresh in your mind, right? So we are doing some of our decorating in the house for Halloween, which is fun, but it also reminds you of the time of year. Do you remember some of the...
There is a spider.
Oh, we just had to cut again because there was a spider on Lynne's Aid's leg. There are a lot of bugs out here right now. But where was I? I was talking about Halloween. And you remember some of the decorations we have inside?
Yeah, we have.
Do we have that monkey?
Yeah.
A skeleton of a monkey. And Lynne gave him a name. Right? A funny name.
What did I name?
Fred.
Fred.
His name is Fred. So meet Fred. We're also putting some floating candles in the front window. And a couple of little things, right? A little haunted house inside. And we're going to do a lot more outside. And Justin and I will be doing that. That might be a subject of a future vlog. That'd be fun, right? Because we do like Halloween around here.
To make it easier for Lynne to remember new information, we try to keep the new information simple and repeat it often and break it down to new activities into small steps. For example, if we're going to be going away on, say, a vacation like we did in 2019 when we went to Florida, I had to remind Lynne a lot, way in advance of anything like that, so that it would be fresh in her mind. Because you have to keep things in like a regular routine, and of course this wasn't going to be our regular routine, so you'd have to remind her way ahead of time. And even then, I can see when we go to leave, she's very excited, but there's fear in her eyes too, and she kind of looks to me, and I hold her hand and tell her it's okay, and she says, "Yep, it's okay." And she just needs to be reassured it's okay when things are a little bit different and we aren't going by the regular routine. So I think that wraps it up. What do you think, Lynne?
We'll see you next time on The Lynne Life.